Welcome back, everyone. Comics and Cold Ones, episode 8. I am your host, JP. And with me today, I know it's kind of a weird time, got my co-host, Mr. Pope Grimy.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, comic book community?
And today we're also have with us a special guest, Mr. Brent Peeples from DC Comics.
Hey, what's happening?
Thanks for being on, Brent. This is awesome.
You bet.
So far, we got Comics Misexplained, who says cheers, and we got Jason Smith that says sup.
Comics Misexplained, he knows what's up. He's been to the after parties.
Sure does. Hey, Matilda, what's going on? Welcome to the show. And Kaney Kyle, he says good morning.
Well, you know, it's kind of nice this time of day because we have the some of the viewers from around the globe that are still up. We have, Matilda's in Israel. I'm sure Hakan will be on from Turkey here in a little bit.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty big global community, if you will.
So, yeah, guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask some questions in the chat. And if not, then me and JP we'll probably go ahead and start asking Brett some questions. And like always, we'll have some giveaways throughout the show. So fire away if you have a question.
Well, I'm excited. There's one thing about Brent's background that maybe a lot of people don't know, and I know this will excite you, Sean, because I believe Mr. Brent did some work with Discovery Channel back in the day on some shark stuff.
Yeah, it was a project through Zenoscope years. I mean, it was like super early career stuff, but they had partnered with Discovery Channel for Shark Week.
Oh, sweet! That's right down my alley.
So I had to do a little short story about the megalodon.
The megalodon. The Mac Daddies of all sharks.
Yeah.
We have a little family joke here, if you will. We're big into shark tits here, so we we tend to look for just different things. Actually, I shouldn't say we. It's my wife. My wife does all the looking.
Way to make him feel comfortable. Like,
break the ice.
It's already weird.
Yep. That's how we roll.
Getting weird on a Thursday.
It's just I don't know. My wife has a good sense of humor, so she'll randomly send pictures of sharks in bikinis or topless sharks. It's really weird that someone actually drew this. So I don't know that we're the weird ones per se. But.
I know, right? If someone already did it, then it was just like, okay.
But Hope loves sharks, so he gets all kinds of any comic covers with sharks on it.
Oh, nice.
Things of that nature. So it's just fun to joke around with that kind of stuff. And eventually, when we get all our fancy stuff up, we'll definitely have a shark on our logo. So you're working on a print today? Is that what you're
right now? Well, for now, and then I got to start layouts on my next book. But right now, yeah, I'm working on a print for a show in Minnesota 2 weeks or a week and a half called ChapelCon. So one of their media guests is drew a blank. Hold on. Is the guy that played Opie on Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, nice.
So I'm doing a print of him sitting on a Harley, all Sons of Anarchy style.
That sounds pretty badass. I never really got into the show myself, but I know a lot of people did, so it'll be should do well for you.
I just it's for the show. Like I'm not selling it. It's exclusive for the show to give out to their guests, so they can sell it. The show's going to sell it, or VIP members get a copy of it and all that kind of stuff. So it was just something I said that I would do for them. So yeah, I'm trying to get that knocked out today. Because, like I said, it was supposed to be due like a couple weeks ago, but DC hit me with a deadline that's got to come first. So now I have a little bit of a break. I'm going to get this thing knocked out.
So, just really quick, I mean, kind of your background. For those who don't know, you're currently working on Teen Titans, correct?
Just Titans, not
Just Titans. Sorry, Titans.
There's two different titles.
Yeah, my bad. So Titans. And are you exclusive to DC?
No, I'm freelance with DC, so I can go anywhere. But DC's been keeping me busy for roughly the past year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah, because prior to this, you were with New Superman, correct?
Right.
And that was canceled, I believe.
Yeah, they reworked all the super books, so we were canceled. A lot of the super books were when Brian Michael Bendis came over, they did some readjusting and shifting, and but that's typical. That happens a lot. You get through. We got through 24 issues, which is a pretty good run, which I'm very happy about. And then Brian came over and he's got some really cool ideas. From what I understand, I'm not privy to all that stuff, but Brian's Brian Bendis, you know what I mean? So I think he just had some ideas of some stuff he wanted to do for the Superman line, and they're allowing him to do that. So I'm excited to see what he's doing.
Yeah, I had the chance to meet him in Seattle earlier this year at the ECCCCCC.
Yeah.
But he seemed super excited about the prospects, which as he should be. I mean, you don't make a decision like that and not be excited about it, I suppose. But yeah, I'm curious to see what he brings. I mean, if he some of the favorite stuff that he did for Marvel for me was the the darker stuff, the Jessica Jones or Alias.
Right.
Anyways, I'm very curious to see what he brings to the DC table.
Well, he is who he is for a reason, and so I don't think I think he's going to do a great job over there with the DC stuff. So I'm excited for it. So obviously, if New Superman could have kept going, of course we would have been happy. But we had a really good run, and it was a great book. So we're very proud of it.
You don't have to answer this question, but this has been a thing that some of us have been talking about in the community, and it's about because there's Super Sons and the new Superman and some other titles have been doing pretty well, and it's gotten a lot of hype with fans. And some of us were disappointed when DC just kind of dropped titles. So it's do you know a reason why, or is that just way out of can you not talk about that? Or
I mean, I don't they don't tell me all that stuff. You know what I mean? Every publisher stops books and restarts books, and it's just kind of the way that it works. I mean, Super Sons is coming back as Adventures of Super Sons, with Carlo doing the art like he was doing before. So it's not 100% going away. It's just it's just kind of how comics works. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I mean, the titles go and they come and then they come back and they get shifted around, and I don't know why they do it, but it's just kind of the model. And I think that's across the board at every company. I mean, when I was at Dynamite, there was this project that was only going to last for 6 issues, and then it got canceled for a while, and then something, then they brought it back with something else, and it's just all kind of how it works.
So your first professional work was Zenescope?
Yeah, back in 2009, on Grimm Fairy Tales.
Nice, awesome title.
So I mean, I'm an art fan, true and true. I mean, comics are obviously a medium for that, but I just love collecting. You know, I get commissions is one of my favorite things in the world to get. I talk about it at nauseum, but I just enjoy getting artwork from people. And from what I can tell, Grim Fairy Tales is like a freaking, not Grim Fairy Tales, but Zenescope in general. They're like a hotbed for some of the most amazing artists, either starting out or continuing to stay there. And you know, they never go to the big two, if you will. But um, what was it like for you to kind of, I guess, get to the? I'm assuming the big two is always the goal, right? That's where the money's got to be at, as far as an artist, as far as top paying gigs go.
You know, I mean, Zenescope was definitely. I mean, the good thing about Zenescope is that they're a smaller publisher and they can take a chance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're able to take a chance on new talent. And when I started with them, Raven Gregory was the editor over there, or one of the editors over there, and he's the one that got me in the door. And then, you know, moving on from there, it was, I did the thing at Image, and you know, I mean, I think for a lot of creators, a big two title is where you want to be, but that's not for everybody. You know, there's plenty of guys and girls that just do creator-owned stuff and have a really good career doing just creator-owned stuff. For me, you know, kind of my goal was I wanted a big two work. You know, that's not the entire goal. I mean, as long as I'm making comics and able to provide for my family doing that, then I'm happy. But, you know, I don't think anybody I mean, it's like baseball, right? Like, you're happy playing baseball and you can provide for your family playing the minor leagues, but you're not going to pass up a chance to go to the Dodgers or the Rangers or whoever. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, I would always want that Yankee money myself. Maybe I'm more of a West Coast guy, so Dodger money would be all right too.
I mean, I'm not a baseball fan, but it's just kind of a good analogy for, you know, you're stepping up to you're in the majors and getting to draw some of the, you know, right now working on Titans, getting to draw some of the most, you know, some pretty iconic characters like Nightwing and Beast Boy, and you know, and it's exciting especially for my 10-year-old, because she, you know, would watch Teen Titans Go, and so she knows who Raven is and Beast Boy is. So she'll walk in my office when I'm working on a page, she'll go, Beast Boy, you know, and that's cool for her.
It's gotta be cool for you too as a dad, though.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they could really, like, they're not super into comics. My 10-year-old just got like her first real comic the other day. We were at a signing, and Dynamite's putting out this Nancy Drew book.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And she likes Nancy Drew, so I was like, well, we can get the book and see if you like the comic, and then if you do, then, you know, we can pick up more of it. But they've never been like super into comics as much as I've tried to get them into it. You know, I have all girls, but they think it's cool what dad does. You know what I mean? So it's almost like bragging rights for them to their friends. Well, my dad works at DC Comics, or my dad draws comic books.
Not many people get to say that awesome shit.
Yeah. So, but, you know, for me, yeah, working at DC, I mean, before my career was done, either by just not getting work anymore or dying, whichever happened first, I always wanted to work on a Superman book, and that was kind of that was my thing. Like, before it's all done, I want to work on something Superman, and I got that chance. So now, you know, that kind of bucket list thing's been checked off, and now I can just kind of enjoy whatever new characters, you know, I get to draw.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if that actually, you know, because I know I kind of read a little bit of a backstory on you, that your dad kind of encouraged you to pursue art. I take it. with drawing Superman as a child?
Yeah, you know, my dad. I mean, my dad was. I mean, I have two dads that I call dad. I have my stepfather and my biological father. But
Sure.
my biological father was an artist, and so he would always encourage me to draw when he saw me doing it. You know, I guess when I was young, the teacher pulled my parents in, and they were like, "Yo, this kid is not. He doesn't draw like your normal 6-year-old." You know what I mean? And you know, so he had me drawing out of those giant size books that they used to do, and the DC used to do like back in the 80s and 70s, and they would have the how to draw Superman stuff in the back or whatever it might be. And so he was doing that, and he was encouraged. You know, he would take me to the zoo to draw the animals and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So he always encouraged me. And, you know, then when I really got super strong into comics was in the 90s when Rob and Jim were doing all their stuff, you know, and Todd, like for that X-Men #1 back in '89 and or '93, whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Pretty big Jim Lee fans that, you know, are kind of our age group.
Yeah, so you know, but that's back when Rob was doing New Mutants and X-Force, and that's when I really kind of noticed, yo, what is this? And, you know, my dad was very encouraging of, you know, I was like, look at this guy. He's like, you know, you can do that one day. My parents, all my, you know, even my mom and my stepdad, they were always very, you know, why don't you do art as a living? And for the longest time, I really didn't want to. But sorry if y'all hear my emails dinging off in the background. You know, I gave up on art for a long time. I didn't really start pursuing it until I was in my late 20s. And that's kind of when I decided I needed to give this thing a shot that I'd always wanted to do before it was too late to try it. So I was either going to succeed at it or I was going to give it my best and fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here we go.
So, you know, it's worked out so far. It's been a long road, but it's, you know, it's been almost 10 years.
That's pretty solid.
Hey, we do have a question in the chat, and it's from We Love Comics. And he wants to know what artists are your inspirations and what about them have influenced your work?
There's been a lot. I mean, when I was younger, like I said, it was Rob and Jim. And then as I grew older, you know, some of that early stuff is still there. But as I grew older, there's all kinds of guys like, and Stuart Eminem is phenomenal. Like he's just, you don't get any better than Stuart Eminem. You know what I mean? His storytelling and everything else. Olivier Coipel is amazing. Phil Hester is amazing. Phil's been a mentor of mine for years, and a good pal, really good friend of mine. And you know, his storytelling ability is just amazing. You know, love Olivier Coipel's work.
Those B covers he did for DC recently were amazing.
Oh yeah, like there's just I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I'm just kind of always looking. You know what I mean? Just looking and learning. And there's even new guys that come out and you go, wow, that cat's really good, and you know his stuff's really dynamic. Or I think it's there's not a single artist or like a handful anymore that are just straight influences, because there's so much talent out there. There's so many good artists, guys and girls both, that, you know, I'm always just kind of, when I see something new, what if I can learn from it, you know, I will.
Well, I think that's like, you know, just mastering your trade, no matter what it is, you know, whatever your line of work is. If there's, you know, new ideas or better ways to do something, or something that inspires you to do better. Of course, I think that's kind of what we all tend to do in our lives.
Well, you know, and I heard a story recently from a friend of mine who works at a comic shop, and he said Frank Miller would come in. This is a comic shop up in New York, and Frank Miller would come in, right? I mean, it's Frank Miller, right? Mm-hmm. And you would think he would look through, and because he's Frank, you know, you would think, okay, well, you know, he's gonna look through this new stuff and go, oh, what is this crap or whatever, but he's not. Like, he wants to look through the wall and see what's new, see what people are doing, you know, see if he's influenced anybody, and then see, you know, what new stuff people are doing. Like, he's very accepting and always trying to learn. I think that's part of, I think if you stop, when you stop learning and you stop trying to grow, and no matter what you do, that's when you go stale. And I think that's when you're done, you know, when you think that you can't learn anymore. And that's what I always want to do. I always want to be a student of my craft. And, you know, I think it's just like music. You know, you hear people, you know, this album's different than that album, but they're growing, they're learning, they're expanding. And I think you have to do that in anything that you do.
I think that's right on point. I tell my students that all the time. You know, because I work at a theater, and I always tell my students that I'm always learning stuff. So, you know, like, never stop learning. Like, you know, even if you think that you're done with something that you're doing, move on to something else, find a new interest, and learn new stuff and apply it to the things that you love.
Yeah, I mean, you can always be better. You know, I don't think there's anybody that, you know, I mean, there's some people that are just geniuses, you know what I mean? But it's just, I still think even then, they're always trying to reinvent. I mean, look at, you know, musically, look at people like Prince, who was just musically just this genius. But look at the evolution of his music. You know what I mean? It was never the Purple Rain album was different than, you know, Diamonds and Pearls, and it was different than the Gold Experience. And it's just, you know, you always always try to learn and grow and adapt. Never think that you're done.
Got a couple questions here from the chat.
Go ahead and do some shout outs before you ask the question. We got a couple of new people in.
What'd you say?
We got like Pope C, Count Von Strange is in the house.
Nice.
DLF Comics. Thanks for joining us, guys. What's up?
So the question from We Love Comics is, what do you think of the investor/speculation side of comics?
What do you mean? Like, can we expand on that, or can maybe you have an idea what you mean?
I think it's talking about a lot of lines of people will like speculate on movies or TV shows, and like when a comic book comes out or there's a book that has existed for a long time, and they're saying that like there's like a speculation for a movie or TV show, and people will start speccing books on like YouTube or whatever, and it like kind of shoots the prices of the books up because possibly this character is gonna show up in a movie or a TV show, or a title of a comic is gonna be opted for a TV show.
You know, I guess I really don't give it any thought, to be honest. Like, you know, like if I do a page, like if I do a book and we introduce a new character, like recently in New Superman, we introduced a new character, and he may not go anywhere, but you know, I'm smart enough that I'm holding on to that original page in case that character does become something, right? Like maybe he becomes the next, you know, Aquaman or the next whatever, you know, because he was an Aquaman character. So if he becomes popular, you know, I'm kind of safeguarding myself for, well, now I have first appearance kind of stuff. But when it comes into all that speculation stuff, I I really don't give too much thought to it because who knows? I mean, I think I just want to draw the books. Does that make any sense?
Gotcha.
So you're not. I mean, your concern isn't obviously what people do in the aftermarket. It's more, your job is to put the product out there, and if it takes off, great. But also, you have the foresight knowing it's a first appearance of a character, and you keep the original art back for you, so you do your own speculation.
Yeah, I do a little bit of my own, but I mean, I've got like a creator-owned project that I would like to do at some point, but I don't. I don't think about the fact that, okay, well, this could turn into, what if this turns into a TV show or that kind of stuff. Like I've got a creator-owned project that I want to do just because I want to do my own creator-owned project.
Sure.
Not because, I'm hoping that it becomes another Netflix series or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Now, would you with this self-starter, are you thinking would you do like a Kickstarter? Or would you actually pitch it to?
No, I would want to take it somewhere. I'd want to take it to an actual, to a publisher and get it done.
Cool.
I think I know you work for Image, and I mean you kind of did the full circle, I guess, from what I can tell in your career. So I mean, they seem to have like a really good program for independent people or creator owned, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, image for creator owned is great. I mean, that's why it was developed. That's what it's for. The thing with Image though, unless you can, the way that their model works, which has worked fine over the years, but they want to make sure their books come out on time. So, if you're going to do a project with Image, you have to know that, you're going to be working for free essentially for a while until those books come out because you get paid off of sales. And that's just how it works. So, and Image wants so many books in the can and ready to go before, before the books launch. So, you got to understand that you're several months before you get paid on anything, if you get paid. I mean, I did my Image book and it's not like, we didn't get rich off of that book. But I was able to do a book through Image and I was very proud of it, so, I mean, I don't know where I would take it. I really haven't gotten that far into it. But yeah, I don't think I would want to Kickstarter it. I think I'd want to do, go through a publisher and get it done that way.
Cool.
So I'm just going to piggyback off of that really quick. So as with working with Image, do you guys still get paid for when the trade comes out?
Yeah. I mean, if your book makes a profit, you get paid.
Gotcha.
But Image is publishing your book for you, so they've got to make their money. They got to make their money back. They're not going to do it for free. So, because that's just good business, But if it's a hit, I mean, as long as the book's profitable, then you get paid. So off the trade or, whatever the sales are digitally and all that kind of stuff, you get paid. It's just a matter of making sure that the book's profitable, which is a lot of, for a lot of younger people in the industry, it's a lot of legwork for you. So calling comic book shops and promoting your product and then I think with with anything, it's part luck too,
Yeah, I'd agree with that, just from a different perspective. But so if you're going to do a book with Image, you have to somehow sneak Kirkman's name on your book somehow.
Sure,
that's what I learned today. We have a few more questions in the chat if you're up to it. We got.
I'm y'all's as long as I'm just sitting here working. So as long as y'all want to have me, I'm here.
So when you get a script, do you prefer more freedom or the full plot from the writer?
I like I like a full script. I was having this conversation with a pal of mine recently, and the script that he had gotten for a DC thing was plot driven. So it was just like paragraphs, like that old Stan Lee style. You know what I mean? I prefer the full script, the panel breakdown, and I still have plenty of freedom if I need to change something around, or whatever it might be. There's still freedom in there. I like to have the full breakdown. That's just how I work best.
Is there a particular title that you've been chasing, that you've been wanting to draw for, or have some sort of influence over?
Man, not really. I mean, I got to do my, I think, I've got to do a Superman book. I would like to maybe do, I think I'd like to maybe do like a full Superman story. That's actual just Superman, not new Superman. But I've gotten to draw Superman in the Justice League in a couple issues of new Superman. So there's really not. There's just. I think it would be fun to do like a Booster Gold book. I think would be fun. I think it'd be fun to draw Blue Devil. I kind of love those side characters.
Those are characters that need a lot. I would like to see more brought to the forefront. It's pretty cool.
But right now, I'm just kind of happy with, when I got offered Titans, I was like, yeah, let's get it. Like, I love these characters, and I can find love for really any of the characters that I work on. So, yeah, I don't have an actual title that I'm necessarily chasing,
I'll do the pitch here. We'll do Blue Devil, written by Donny Cates with art by Brent Peeples.
Now that's something I would like to do. I would like to work with Donny. Donny's a pal of mine, and I really like Donny a lot. And I like Donny's work. So now that's something that would be more of a goal, is to work with specific. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He's the golden boy right now, man. That's for sure. As far as writers go,
I mean, he just, he's got this energy that just is amazing, and he don't write too bad neither.
Yeah, I got to meet him at the Lexicon, and it was really, really cool to meet him. He's a really cool guy, and it was just I was really on the sidelines when he was introducing the Cosmic Ghost Rider. And I didn't know what to think about it, but then when I read it, I was just like, man, this guy is hitting on something that nobody else has ever touched.
Yeah, that dude ain't dumb. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and he was telling me and my friend that he's had these ideas in his head for a long time, and that he just had the opportunity to pitch it, and they took it, and now he's riding the golden wave, and I wish him well. He's doing really, really well.
Yeah, and that's what that's the main thing is having a long career in this industry. That's what I really want to do, is I want to be able to draw comics until I can't draw comics no more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna read them until we can't read them anymore. Actually, that's not true. I'll have my kids read them to me when I'm blind.
I was gonna say, if I go blind, I'll get comics in Braille.
Oh man.
But yeah, Donnie's a great dude. I love that dude to death.
I've been trying to get him on here. He's not returning my messages. Just saying.
Yeah, he's a super busy cat, man. It's hard to nail him down.
I totally get it. I met him at the Dallas Fan Expo. Cool dude. We had a good conversation. I live in the town that Rednecks was based on. So,
yeah.
Good old East Texas.
Gotta love it.
My life has come full circle, man.
I love Rednecks. That's an awesome series.
So what else we got here? We got from your what is your opinion from a creator's perspective? What do you think about all the recent reboots of series multiple times during the past few years?
I don't know. I think in today's world, it's almost necessary. And I understand why they do it, because we live in a time where everything is what's new. You don't, I think the old heads, the people that have been reading comics for a long time, we are used to, we want to see the run get to issue number 265 and yada, yada, yada. Right. I mean, that's kind of what we grew up on, but we're in a time where, I mean, look at social media apps, right? Like first it's Facebook, and then Facebook isn't good enough. You got to have Twitter, and then Twitter's not good enough. You got to have Instagram, and then there's Snapchat. It's always what's new.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now you have to do what's new. You have to have reboots and things like that in the books, because it is a what's new type of society now.
I never really thought about it in that perspective, because I've always wanted, because I would always rant and rave, stop rebooting the universe, just let us enjoy what we have. And I never thought about, the next generation coming up,
But that's who, unfortunately, we're not. The companies now aren't. I mean, they're trying to cater to everyone, which is difficult, because for new readers that you're trying to get in, it's hard to bring in new readers on an issue number 200 and something.
Yeah.
And especially with the digital age, you have so many people. I have so many people saying, "Oh, new Superman! Yeah, I heard about this. I've been waiting on the trade." Well, when you trade wait, even for, I mean, this fares for creator-owned books, but even for big two books, that when you trade wait, then that brings sales numbers down every month. So then the book that you're enjoying or might like isn't going to get continued because you waited to pick up the trade instead of buying monthly. Right. But I think that's what companies are having to deal with, is how do we get new readers in, and how do we keep old readers at the same time, but keep sales numbers up. So I think that's why there's always event books. You know what I mean? Even if you're not starting over right at issue number 1, you have an event book that then allows you to kind of start fresh. That's a jumping on point. Does that make sense? Because for the longest time, everybody was like, "Oh, quit doing so many event books. Just give us regular books." But you got to do something to keep it fresh and new, or you're going to lose readers, especially in a society like today.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very good point. Because I never really stopped to think about, the new generations coming in, because, I see a lot of it from when I work at the theater at a college, especially in music. I'll talk about, music I used to listen to, music I listen to now, because I like all different genres, and they're like, "What the hell are you listening to? I've never heard of them." It's just like, what do you mean you've never heard of the Deftones? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But we have another question from Pope Cerebus the First, and he says, "Do you believe in any other creators that are underrated? The next Donny Cates, in other words, and should we watch out for? Is there anybody we should watch out for?"
I think there's plenty of creators. I mean, I feel like there's always creators out there that need to get their shot. I mean, a buddy of mine who's a Texas native, this guy named Matthew Weldon, this cat is amazing. He just hasn't gotten his like major shot yet. You know what I mean? Like he's doing some stuff. He's done some indie stuff, and he's working on a project that I think you can get on Comixology right now. But this dude's art is just phenomenal. So, you know, I'm always, I mean, that's one right off the top of my head. I'd be like, that's a dude that you need to follow and watch out for. Because at some point he's going to get, you know, he's going to hit it. But I think there's plenty of creators out there that are just need their shot, you know.
Miss Hustle wants to know, what was the first comic book that you ever worked on?
The first comic book I ever worked on was Grimm Fairy Tales issue number 43. That was my first. Well, no, I take that back. That's actually incorrect. So the first comic book I actually worked on was a book. Oh man, I just drew a blank on the name of it. But it was an independent book through Arcana Comics, which is even smaller than Zenoscope, I believe. But it was a book about supervillains in a maximum security prison. And the guy that wrote it, his name was Grant Chastain. He found me on, I think, DeviantArt or something like that. And so that was technically my first professional gig, the one that I got paid for. But it didn't come out until after Grimm Fairy Tales came out. So Grimm Fairy Tales was the first thing that was published. But the other one was technically my first book.
Yeah, she's a huge Jasmine fan, and she saw that you did an Arabian Night, and she got really excited.
Oh yeah, the Sinbad. I did that Sinbad series through Zenoscope as well with Dan Wickline, and that was fun because it was an adventure thing. We had a good time with that.
So I have a question here. How do you feel? Well, you're kind of obviously I'm a big Adam Hughes fan, right? I mean, I think most people in this community are pretty big Adam Hughes fans.
Yeah, I would say that dude's probably pretty good.
Yeah, he's all right. So, but the thing is with his wife is very vocal. You know, she posts a lot of things on Facebook and stuff, and she has a real hard time. It seems that if someone buys some original art from him or a commission, and then down the road they flip it for, you know, a $3,000 profit, she seems to always be upset by that. So, question is, what is your take on if you sell a piece of original art to someone and then you see it on eBay going for X amount of dollars?
Like, so that's a kind of a two-sided thing, and that's a real touchy subject. I understand why Adam gets upset about it, because Adam does he's in high demand. He does a certain amount can only do a certain amount of sketches or commissions per show, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, he charges whatever he charges for a sketch and put somebody on the list and they get a sketch, and then they turn right around same day and try to flip it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not, to me, I can understand it because, one, you're flipping my art for a profit. You really didn't want it.
Yeah, it's like they're not appreciating.
Now the person who really did want a sketch didn't get one because you're a jerk. You know what I mean? And that, I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've met Adam briefly. He's a really, really nice dude. I've never met his wife. I've never heard anything negative about her. I'm assuming if she's a nice lady because, you know, Adam's a nice dude. But I think that's their personal, that's their prerogative. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that art was meant to go to someone who wanted that art.
I mean, it's crappy. Like it really is shitty. If you know, okay, so say I have 10 commission spots open for a weekend, and I have a fan that really wants to get in on the list, but I'm already full, right?
Right.
Man, I'm sorry, I just can't get to anymore. Oh crap. Okay, well I'll try to catch you next time. But I do a sketch for somebody else, and then I turn around and it's on eBay selling for so much money. That's what's going to make me mad, is that not that it's gotten flipped. Like I've seen my art on eBay and things like that, like sketches and even original pages that people have purchased. Look, everybody has problems, right? You know, it's money issues, man. I got to sell some of this stuff and try to make ends meet. Like I lost my job, or I've got medical issues. Like there's always a legitimate, you know, there can be a legitimate reason for that stuff. But the issue comes in when you have people that just flip. It's the same thing as the CGC stuff now, right? Like you can tell who's just trying to get CGC graded stuff to make money off of your name. And you can tell who's wanting to get their book signed just because they want to get their book signed. That's why a lot of artists now have started charging at some point for some kind of a signature. You know what I mean? Like trying to figure out a way to do that. Like, look, okay, so I'll personalize it to you. If you don't want it personalized, then, you know, it's $5 for a signature or $2 for a signature, because more than likely you're just going to try to flip this and make some money. You really don't want the signature. You know what I mean?
Sort of. I will. My only response, I guess, in that is I don't like stuff personalized, mainly because if I leave it to my kids, they don't give a shit if it says John on it. You know?
Well, I mean, but we can tell, like, if it's just somebody that walks up with a book or a couple books, you know, you can usually tell that they're a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I even recently started, you know, if you walk up with, you know, a stack of books, and it's not to be a jerk. And there's some guys that don't charge at all, but it's, you know, you're walking up and you have a stack of books that, and I'm like, okay, well, the first 5 are free, and then it's a $1 every signature after.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and part of that is just supporting, you know, to help support the arts as well, because I mean, you know, most of us aren't getting rich doing this. We're doing this because we love it.
If an artist is giving me a free signature, that means I have more money to spend on like their prints and their books. I mean, I'm not dissing anybody that, like, I will pay for an autograph. I have no problem. I'm not saying any of that. I have no problem with paying for an autograph, but like I'm a comic book collector, and if I find an artist that I love or like, then I like them. I don't flip books. And so if I'm in your line and I have, like, even if I had multiple number ones of something, or if I had multiple copies of something, I'm definitely keeping one, and the rest of them are probably going to like friends or the comic book community.
Right. And there's a lot of guys like that, but you have to look at the way, you know, from our standpoint too, is unfortunately now with things like CGC, which I understand CGC, like it's a cool thing, right? You want to get it graded and slabbed, and, you know, maybe you really do want to keep this for your collection.
Yeah.
But now you have, with the age that we live in, you have, you know, you've done this work, and now you have somebody that's making money off of you.
Oh, I understand it all. I'm
so, unfortunately, the flippers have kind of ruined it for everybody else, because how do we now, you know, do we take it and go, okay, well, we just accept the fact that people are making money off of us, or do we try to safeguard ourselves in a way like, okay, well, if they're going to make money off of us, we might as well make something back from it.
Oh yeah, I understand.
But then how do you know, it's hard to
you can't
decipher who's who.
Decipher that. Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I really like going back to Adam Hughes. He has, you know, he'll sign the first 5 books for free, And me personally, I'm like, if I need more than 5 books signed, I need to pay something.
Well, I think it's fair because you have people that show up with short boxes.
Oh, I've seen it. 2006 up in Minnesota at FallCon, I literally watched a guy ahead of me with a short box for Adam Hughes, because that was back before he was doing sketches for $50 back then. So, no big deal. But I'm watching this guy and I'm like, are you serious? Like, he's just sit there and he's signed this entire Wonder Woman run, this entire Catwoman thing, whatever it was. I'm just like, why would you do that to someone? Like, I just, to me, it's just rude. Like, to bring that many books. Like, I think at that point, as an artist, what that dude's up to. No one needs their entire damn collection signed, I don't think.
Yeah, it can just get to a point where it's a little much. So at that point, then, and I'll do that. Look, somebody, I don't have a huge library, but I have a big enough library. So if somebody is a big enough fan, and if they're a big enough fan, they're not going to have any problem most of the time supporting you a little bit. So if you say, hey, I'll sign the first 5 books for free, and then after that, it's $1 a piece. Okay. If you can't show appreciation by giving me $10 for me to sign some books, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna hit that right quick. We have the great Legend is in the house. What's up, Legend? How's it going?
He's got a question for you, Brent. I know that
guy. And we got Lyric Magic Moments. And I have to say, Legend, one of the first things Legend noticed was the spinner rack.
Oh, man. So yeah, I have all my books in there, but once I started getting work, so I put all my books in order. So these 2 rows right now are me, and then you spin around and it's just other books. But that's kind of my I don't know, trophy wall or
Do you collect yourself?
Well, you get your comps in. So anytime I get a comp from a publisher or the book I worked on, I put it in the spinner rack.
Like, do you have like a?
Oh, do I collect actual like?
Yeah. Like, keys or anything like that?
I'll go to the shop and pick up stuff if I have time. I just bought. Most of the time, it's people I admire. Like if Stuart Eminem has a new book out or, something like that, I'll grab it. Or, if I see a buddy's got something coming out, you know what I mean?
So you're not saving up for that Action #1 or anything?
No. And the books that I do get, man, I read them and then I read them again, if I have time to read them, or I'll flip through them and look at them, and then like I enjoy my comics. I'm not the dude that's gonna like put them in back and board and all that kind of stuff. I'll step on them. I just only roll over them. Like
the great Legend wants me to tell you that he is a huge fan of your work.
Oh, well, thank you.
He's waiting on his Jonah Hex.
Trying to get to all my I've got this stack of commissions. I opened up my commission list. I had a break between Titans and New Superman, so I opened up my commission list and to try to fill the gap. And then like 3 days after, DC was like, "Yo, we got to start Titans earlier than planned," and I was like, "Oh no!"
Deadline.
So I've had to try to message everybody. I think I got to everybody. Or almost everybody is like, so here's the thing. I know I said about 5 weeks, but it's going to be longer because I got to do this thing first. But everybody's been really cool. I
missed a few questions in the chat here. Things are kind of going fast, but Gene Paul wants to know what's your favorite / least favorite Titan to draw?
Favorite / least favorite?
Yeah, which one's your favorite? Which one's your least?
I'm really, I don't know, like, I'm really enjoying drawing Beast Boy.
I knew you were going to say that.
he's got this real cool aesthetic right now, right? Like most of the time he's in like monster form. He's not like this skinny. He's not a skinny kid Beast Boy. He's like this big hulking thing, which is really fun to draw because it's got the underbite and kind of the monstrous face. Raven to me is always. I think when I got the Titans gig, even past Nightwing, who's kind of the star, right, like the big guy of the book. Raven to me was the one I was most excited about. There's a personality about her that I really like. So I really enjoy drawing her because of personality wise.
She was always one of my favorites.
There's just something about her. I don't know. She's just got this demeanor that is easy for me to draw that I really enjoy drawing. Nightwing's just Nightwing. You know what I mean? Like Nightwing's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's just Nightwing, but he's the boss. He's the leader. He's the stoic kind of guy. But least favorite, I don't really have a least favorite. I tell you who's hardest to draw is Steel. The new Steel character, the female. Because she's got this armor, so it's more intricate. It's not just a bodysuit, like everybody else, or a cape or anything like that. So she's the most difficult to draw, but I wouldn't say she's my least favorite. I'm learning. I'm starting to get her armor down, so it's easy. It's easier. I don't know. I really don't have a least. I mean, like, if I were to ever pick a least favorite character for me to draw, it would be like the Thing if I ever did a Marvel book. You know what I mean? Just because all those rocks. But I think I would say that Steel is the hardest, but definitely not my least favorite because she's got a cool design too.
Yeah, Raven's my favorite.
I think just she's mysterious, right? It's a dark thing, like, I don't know what it is. I find that I'm drawn to like witchcraft shit anyway, so I don't even know what that even means. But it's like it's so interesting to these like dark, mysterious ladies or men.
Well, I mean that's what it is for me. I mean, I just like the dark side of persona of people. Like it's people always try to show their good side all the time, but we all do have like a darker side, and I just like the fact that her character that's what she's about, is controlling that darker side. And I just think it's very interesting that that's what's in the forefront of her story.
Well, I mean, the issue we just did, there's a scene, it's a little 3-panel part where she's kind of stoic, and then she's she's contemplative, or however you say that, because I'm not really good at grammar. And then she smiles. Like it's 3 different versions, 3 different aspects of her personality, all in 3 different panels, back to back. And it's really fun to show those different sides of her, when everybody else can kind of be a little one-sided. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting character for sure. Someone had asked earlier if you're able to share what you're working on right now at this moment. Like, I'm assuming show what you're working on.
The print?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's in different form, but I can try to show it. Hold on.
Sweet deal.
I have to hold I'm using my Cintiq, so I gotta hold that up for the camera if it'll stretch. See if y'all can see that.
Oh yeah, that's
nice.
So it's from Sons of Anarchy, for those who weren't here earlier when we were talking about it. So he's doing a print for a con up in Minnesota. It's kind of I don't know if it's a favor or whatnot, but something that they had asked for, and he did it.
Yeah, they had me out last year, and it's a smaller show. I think this is their 2nd year, but they are really really good people. They took really good care of us, made us feel very welcome. So they asked this year if I could do a print for them, and I said yes. So
how does it work with you guys when you said they had you out? Does that mean that they like paid for everything for you?
Yeah. So I mean, these when we go do these shows, you got to take time away from family and deadline and everything else. And as much fun as it is for us to meet our fans, it's also needs to be lucrative. So for me, I don't do outside of like New York. I don't do any shows these days that don't pay for like my hotel or travel or my flight and stuff like that, because I need to know that I'm going to make some kind of money at these shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a couple you probably know, Mark Walters.
Yeah, I know Mark.
He's a friend of ours in the community. I'm always like picking his brain from the promoter side of things, and it's kind of nice to see from your perspective, like how all that works. Because I know obviously not every artist in Artist Alley is paid to be there or have their expenses paid. Just not feasible from a business standpoint. Obviously,
right.
You're paying to get the people that are established.
Yeah, I mean it's and not everybody. That's just kind of something that I started asking for once I was. Sorry, somebody's calling. That's what I started. I asked for that stuff once I started kind of getting on some books that were somewhat reputable, at least the publisher. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't always get it. But I just kind of set a precedent of this is what I need to do your show. And then nowadays it's very much that way. It's, I just, as much as I would like to do all these shows, there's so many shows now and they're not all as lucrative as they used to be. And so, I need to be able to hedge my bet a little bit that I know that I'm going to come home with, and have a lucrative show. So asking for travel expenses and stuff to be taken care of is kind of like the bare minimum,
Sure.
You say that should be like a given thing.
Well, you would think so, but there's a lot of shows now that don't want to do that.
It's because they're putting all their money into TV celebrities.
And that's a lot of it. But that's another thing. That's a whole nother thing, which is again, unfortunately, it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be able to cover your bases and your expenses, right? So, that's just part of it these days.
Yeah, it's like I don't have obviously I have celebrities that I like, but when I go to a Comic-Con, I want to see artists, I want to see writers, I want to see illustrators. And sometimes it's, I understand like they have to get like the draw of the people there by using celebrities, but then it just, like it's weird, man. Like seeing the whole kind of like evolution of cons where it was just used to be just you can go and meet your favorite artists and writers and get your favorite books signed by them, and then celebrities start showing up, and then like I don't know, man. Like somewhere along the lines, like I don't understand like the industry. Like money is always going to be the the engine that runs everything. That's going to be the motivator. But like sometimes it's just like comic book fans just want to meet their comic book artists and get their favorite book signed.
Yeah, but y'all are few and far between these days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
When you go to a show now, most of the people don't even know that we draw comics for a living. Like, so is this your full-time gig? This is what you do for a living. Like, you drew all this? Yeah.
So, I'm only laughing because of I guess the ignorance of it. Did you draw this? No, I'm just sitting here for no reason.
I found this.
Well, have their name on a little sign sitting on this table, and I like to have comic books spread out.
So I know like this is really has nothing to do with anything other than this has been like my year in comics, if you will. Like I've had the greatest year personally, and being able to go to ECC and then Dallas Fan Expo. I just moved back to Texas right the weekend that was happening, so I got to go to the. I hadn't been to a convention since I was like 16, so this was like,
oh wow,
it was just an amazing experience for me. I got, in Seattle, I got to finally meet people in person and have conversations and build some friendships, and in Dallas, I got to carry on some of those friendships and meet new people as well. A lot of YouTubers in our community, we all got together, had a dinner. It's just kind of a cool thing, this whole YouTube comic book community. Because
right.
I'm going to be honest, there are hundreds of people in this community, probably thousands really, and they're all true fans. They're people that collect books. They just enjoy reading their books. They actually appreciate all these things. So to me, it's just great to see, and that's kind of with us. With our show, we're just doing something to bridge people so they can talk to the creators. Because you think about me, I'm 41 years old. The first time I've been to a convention since I was 16. There's a lot of people over the years I have yet to meet.
41 years young.
yeah, that's you.
Hey man, I'm not too far behind you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean the age is just a number. But just for me, like I would have never. Had I not gone to those conventions, I would have never got to have those conversations or to get to know that artist or writer in a way that, because you had so many different perspectives. When you're looking at a comic book each month, you just say, "Oh, that's cool. It's great artwork," but you don't know like the story behind the artwork or the person behind the artwork. And just kind of a fun thing that we've been trying to do is just to show a different side to people. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you. For being on with us is kind of the long-winded version, but
oh yeah, I mean, I'm always happy. I mean, this kind of stuff is easy because I can sit here and work. Y'all can look at the top of my head,
and they say there's no
and talk at the same time. So I mean, this kind of stuff's always fun, and I always like getting to meet the people that are enjoying my work because y'all are the ones that keep me working. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of. I personally, I'm a huge indie fan. Like I read more independent comics than anything. I read more DC of the big two than I do Marvel, which is neither here nor there. But one thing I was going to touch on a little bit earlier is I'm really excited that DC has made that Walmart partnership with the giant size 100-page books. Have you had a chance to see those yet?
No, I heard something about it, but man, I don't have the time to follow. So like when I hear the news about stuff that's in the industry, usually it comes from like y'all, like fans. Like
I gotcha.
Somebody walks in, they're like, "So what do you think about this?" I'm like, "I have no idea. Tell me about
it." Well, for me, I was asked for some random company wanted my quote or opinion on it, and my first thought was anything that's going to get more people reading comic books is a good thing.
Exactly it.
And I know some of these are reprints, some of them are new stories in there and stuff. So it's got a good mixed bag for old collectors and new. So it's kind of cool thing. Hopefully down the road you'll have some stuff in there as well to get out there to the masses.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out there. Like, when are you gonna start drawing some Sinestro stuff? Like, when are you going to start taking over a Sinestro book?
I don't know. One gig at a time.
Can I put that on your radar? Can you just go up to DC and be like, "Hey, man, some random."
Yeah, so I did this podcast the other day, and they want me to draw Sinestro. So how about yeah?
That should work, right?
Yeah, that's how that usually works out. No, I mean, I would like to do. I think I would like to do some Green Lantern stuff. That would be fun. The cool thing about like space stuff is that when you draw like new worlds and new buildings, like it doesn't have to look like Chicago or New York. You know what I mean?
That's what I love about it.
Like you can make this stuff up. So but drawing the Green Lantern stuff would be fun because there's a lot of really different. There's a lot of different characters in there, different looks and feels and vibes, and that would be rad.
You hear that, DC? That'd be fucking rad.
But you know what? As long as DC keeps me working, I'll just draw whatever they ask me to work on.
Yeah, whatever pays the bills, man. I totally get that. So, what's your con schedule like the rest of this year?
It's still fairly busy. I've got Chapel Con in Minnesota in next weekend.
Which part of Minnesota?
Albert Lea, which is
an
hour and 45 south of Minneapolis.
Yeah, I grew up. I spent most of my adult years in North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota. So,
okay.
Is Ali Garza going to be there?
No, Ali won't be there.
Well, he's a St. Cloud boy, so I figured it'd just be a stone's throw for him.
No, he's not going to be there. So I've got that show, and then I've got Palm Springs in August.
Minnesota, Florida? Or is that California? Where's Palm Springs?
California.
God, I'm really good at geography.
I think it's Palm Springs is like an hour out of LA, I believe.
Okay.
So Palm Springs, and then I've got Tampa, which is MegaCon Tampa in September, I believe.
Got some viewers there in that area.
And then New York Comic-Con in October. Then I've got a little bitty show in Arkansas in November, and then that's it for the rest of the year.
Like how you say that's it, as though like that wasn't a long haul of stuff you have to do, like plus your like deadlines for DC.
Plus deadlines, yeah. Plus, I've got a family too, so I've got to, I got to make sure I see my kids and be dad. And
family comes first, man.
So.
Okay, so we're starting to get hit up with some questions in the chat.
Okay.
Way behind.
Let's get.
Niobe Comics says, I guess I should ask my usual question. Advice for an indie writer like himself for successful Kickstarters. He wants to know if he's looking to level up. Any thoughts?
For an indie writer, I mean, writers are always that's the hard job. And I have no advice on a Kickstarter. I've never done one. I think I started one, but I never finished it. It was for an art book. It wasn't like for a. But when it comes to writing, I mean, the good thing about now is that you can, and with the internet age, anybody can publish their own book. You know what I mean? With Kickstarter or print on demand. So, the same thing, the thing I tell writers all the time, which I'm not a writer, like I can just do a portfolio and take it and say, hey, will you take a look at my stuff? But what I tell writers is to find an artist, figure out a way to pay them, and then get your book published, whether it be print on demand or anything else. And then you can start showing it, pitching it to companies like Image, or if you want to get work at a company writing work for hire, then you can take that actual book and give it to an editor or send a PDF to an editor if they say that's okay. The writing thing is the hardest gig in comics to get.
Unless your name is Rick Remender. Or Donnie Cates.
Yeah, I mean, look at Donnie, right? So Donnie did his books, but they got heat. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, Donnie's a good writer, and you can't take that away from him. But he got, he's where he's at because he got a book, pitched it, got it picked up, and he's a good writer. I mean, you got to be. It's just like anything else. Like even as an artist, you got to be realistic for where you're at.
Say persistence would have to be a big thing too, because Donnie Cates was telling me that whole Frank Castle being a cosmic ghostwriter was a thing that he had in his head like for a long time coming. So
Right. You know, look at, I mean, Donnie didn't start it at Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was doing other stuff. And then that's how he got picked up and if you want to work at a big two company, they want to see you work somewhere else first. They want to see that you've written somewhere else first. It's very rare that writers start at Marvel and DC. I mean, it's rare that artists do too. But that's more apt to happen if you're a badass artist than as a writer, because you know they can see that you can draw stuff. You can't go to a convention and show your portfolio as a writer and have them sit there and read your script for 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's so true. I think that's why you see so many, you know, like the Cullen Bunns of the world. You know, they're writing 30 books a month.
Well, writers can also write faster. You know, I mean,
yeah,
writers can do multiple books a month, where I can, you know, I got to do one. I can't do any more than that. You know, I might be able to do one plus a fill in here and there. Like, you know, I think it was April, I did, you know, I was drawing New Superman, and I did a fill in on Titans, and I did that, you know, 5-page story on Titans special. And then I did a fill in on, you know, 5-page fill in on Super Sons. So, you know, that was 30 pages in 30 days. And that was already like, that was killer. Like I wasn't sleeping.
I was going to say, you probably didn't sleep at all.
Plus I had 2 conventions. Like I was working on the road and everything, like, you know, just.
Then you got to work commissions in there, right?
Commissions were on the back burner on that month.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
So someone did ask, like, what do you typically charge for a full body color commission?
Full body, 11 by 17 marker tones, color, whatever you want to call it, is $250 on the regular. Every now and then I'll run a special that I do like $100 inked single figure.
Yes.
And if you want color on top of that, then we can discuss it. But
that's super awesome. That's an awesome price for a damn commission.
Yeah, that's very.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if I have some time, you know what I mean. Like if I have, that's what I did with the last time I took commissions. I opened up, like I had time, so you know, it's let me just book a whole bunch of commissions, run this little special, book a whole bunch of commissions.
I saw on the Instagram thing you were running for the $100 deal not too long ago, maybe a couple of weeks or a month.
Yeah.
That's where Legend got in that Jonah Hex.
Yeah. So, you know, but the issue is, you know, and I had every intention of having all those done within, you know, as people were booking, I'm like, okay, well, you know, you're number whatever on the list. Like, you know, you booked later than everybody else, so you're going to be about 6 weeks out. But when, you know, when deadlines hit, if it's especially as tight as this one was, that's just got to go on the back burner, unfortunately.
Basically, you're saying just have patience.
Huh?
Patience, guys. You'll get your work. You just have to wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to take me a year to get them done. It may take a few more weeks than planned, but it'll be done.
That's still a lot faster than some of my experiences. It's, I mean, I'm a very patient person when it comes to that, because I'm not going to rush someone. You know, I'm not going to hound somebody for my commission, because you know what, if you know, I mean, I've waited a year for a piece. We just had our year anniversary. I'm waiting for a commission. He keeps sending me pictures that it's done, but he ain't mailed it yet. But that's fine, whatever.
And that's the tough thing too. Like then, you know, like it's hard, and that's like honestly, like it's tough. Like, okay, well now we've got this piece done, but now I got to get out of the house and go to mail it. And then, so you know, I'll do that. I'll be like, yo, it's done. It's going out tomorrow. And then like 2 weeks, I've got to get to the post office. Because you know, I mean, I try to do for me. A long time ago, you know, I would sit in my office and it just work all the time. You know, going to the gym went on the back burner, all of that kind of stuff. And I get to a point where, you know, I've got to do for me. But, you know, even getting to the gym sometimes, which I do 4 to 5 times a week, but even getting to the gym sometimes is tough when you're on deadline, you know, and that's something I'm doing that's a health thing, you know.
Yeah, well, people have to realize that time is a very valuable asset.
Time is I mean, sometimes going to the post office, it takes you 30 minutes to pack up everything, box everything, making sure it's packaged properly.
You gotta stand in the line.
And it's a line in the post office. You're like, I gotta get home, but no.
That's because where you live, they only got one teller.
Yeah.
All right, so we have another question from the chat, and it's from Miss Hustle. She says, "What is your favorite thing or character to draw?" And I'll be right back because I gotta go make room for more beer.
Right on.
My favorite thing or character to draw?
Superman.
I mean, Superman's always held a very special place in my heart. But I don't know that I really have a favorite anything. I get that question a lot. What's your favorite? What's your favorite? I don't think I have a favorite. I have different characters that are super special to me. Like Superman's very special to me. I mean, he was my dude when I was growing up, there's a lot of, but like I said, my least favorite thing to draw is the Thing because he's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, you can imagine.
But I don't really have a favorite. Sorry. I feel like I'm a disappointment.
So when you're doing commissions, do you have do you get excited about people's ideas, or do you kind of like your own freedom to here's a character I want, you go with it?
Yeah, I mean, every now and then you'll have somebody that wants to art direct you, and that takes the fun out of it. So there needs to be some artistic freedom in there. I never want anybody to walk away unhappy. So if I have to, if you give me your money and you want me to do something specific that I haven't done, but most of the time, the more freedom, like every now and then you'll get somebody that's like, yo, can you draw this? And I'm like, yes, that would be awesome. I haven't gotten to do that character. Or they'll give me, hey, pick 3, pick 1 out of 3. That's always the coolest stuff. Or I did that commission where the theme was a circus. So as long as it didn't matter what character it was, as long as it was circus themed. And so I did the Chinese circus poster version of that Iron Fist. You know what I mean? Which was fun. So, usually the more freedom that I can get, the better. But, if somebody wants something specific, as long as they're not like too art directy, then I usually don't have an issue.
Great Legend wants to know, do you think we will ever see Kong Keenan back in the DCU?
Man, I sure hope so. I really enjoy drawing that character. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's a big enough part of the DCU now because he's gone, he's gone into other books. They used him in other books. So I'm pretty sure he'll end up somewhere else in the DCU if not by them giving him his own series again. You know what I mean? I think he'll show back up.
Yeah, I was. So when you were in Dallas, I think you had an opportunity to meet Sora Sung, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you guys chatted. I'm not really sure, but she did some commissions for me, and the one I did, she literally responded back to me and said, "You sent me an effing novel of what you wanted this character to be," and I was like, "Look," I wasn't really sure how to explain what I was looking for, but having had this conversation, we hashed it out. So I'm like, just do whatever you want. I was really being very specific because I like you were saying earlier, I'm investing this much money into this project, and I kind of want to get what I want. But at the same time, I prefer the artist to have creative freedom over it, as long as we're in the ballpark. And then after that, every commission I've had since, I just said, go with it. Do what you want. It'll be fun no matter what. And so far, it has been great.
Well, and that's the thing. I think you have to look at it like this. Like you're getting a piece of work from us because you enjoy our work, right?
Yep.
So you see what we do, you know what we do. Even DC or our publishers, editors don't art direct us that much. You know what I mean? Like even scripts don't art direct us that much. Like if we want to change something, we have the ability to change something. And you have to leave us some kind of room to play. Otherwise, we're going to dread doing the piece and it's going to show.
And not just that, it's not going to be your artwork. If someone is trying to explicitly tell you how to draw the piece.
Yeah, like we want to, part of the fun of commissions is being able to experiment and do something different and have fun and not be restricted. And us to try to get a different take on a character that we, are drawing or, trying to do something new. How many times do we get, I want Superman flying at you. Well, I've done that pose a million times. Let me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let me do something fun with it. Let me figure out something else. Like
Superman chugging a beer.
Yeah, like, it's one thing to say, the best kind of things are, I would like this character and this is the theme. So, I want this character and it's the theme is music or the theme is circus or the theme is whatever. And then you're kind of getting what you're wanting, but you're allowing us to be able to figure it out on our own and play with it.
Cool. All right, let me give a quick shout out to Silver Age Dave is in the house. And Gomez is in the house.
What's up, Gomez?
I don't think I said that Exile State has made it too. So welcome to the conversation, guys. What's up?
I think it's time for a giveaway. What do you think?
I was just about to say, every time my giveaways, every time I need to fill up more beer. So yeah, it's time for a giveaway.
So I think we'll do a trivia question pertaining to Brent's work.
Ooh.
I'm going to be giving away this Justice League #1 signed by Scott Snyder with the Midtown Certificate of Authenticity. So that's what I'm giving away today. For those of you that are interested. So I think
I'm going to get in on this.
Yeah, can I win that?
Sure. If you can answer this question about your work.
I hope you know about yourself, man.
What is the animal that Brent works with Discovery Channel with to do some books? And go.
You have to make sure that was that pre-show or was that during our show?
No, it was during that was definitely on the show.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm the one drinking.
No, it was not a giraffe.
Come on, Gomez.
A sewer rat. Well, while everyone's taking their time to see what animal it was that Brent covered, I'm going to look at some other questions from the past that we might have missed. There was one wanting to know your opinion on comic book movies and TV shows. Do you think it's going to hit a wall or think it's going strong?
I think everything has a bubble. But I think right now we're going to ride that wave as long as we can. I think the superhero shows are going to be the first thing to go. I don't think they're strong enough. They just don't have the production value. Does that make sense? So I think, and look, superhero shows, like I know a lot of people love these shows like Arrow and Flash. They wear on me like nobody's business. Like, I'm sorry, I don't understand why the Flash, the fastest man in the world, needs a team of people behind him in a building, in a laboratory, to tell him how to figure out how to beat this dude.
Gomez the hippo.
Like, same thing with the Green Arrow. Like, why does the Green Arrow need a whole team of people in a room giving him ideas on how to defeat a bad guy? Like, you're Green Arrow. You're the hero. Like, go figure it out.
That's interesting. You just put a lot of writers out of work.
But you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why you need your Green Arrow and friends. You know, it's not like, okay, if it was all super friends, maybe, like, I get it. Like, but dude, I don't need a whole bunch of, you know, unsuper powered people in a room trying to tell my hero how
to live his life.
how to figure it out. Like,
You don't know how to be a mayor.
and sometimes that's part of the journey of a hero, is the flaws and the messing up, and then them having to go back and figure it out. You know, I think the superhero shows are going to be the first thing to go. Hopefully.
Hopefully. I think it would be really, I don't know, going back to that speculating thing. I think once those shows go away and stuff, I think you'll see a lot of bigger books come back down to earth or more affordable prices. But that's just neither here nor there. I just something I think personally that I agree with you on the bubble. I think everything has a bubble. I think, you know, I'm a product of the '90s comic book bubble, so I know all about that as a collector, as a reader. I did not go buy 85 copies of The Death of Superman. That was not me. But
Right.
you know, a lot of people did. I worked for a comic shop.
When Superman died, I was like,
Yes.
not gonna lie, I wanted an end to the Boy Scout. I can't lie.
Oh Lord. So Jason Smith got the shark right. So Jason Smith won the Justice League, signed by Scott Snyder. He guessed sharks.
Right? It was gonna be
Congratulations.
fucking. Now everybody hates me
Everyone hates you.
because it was a shark.
Whatever. Sharks are the coolest animal in the sea. That's the reason I don't go to lakes. Because I know someday there's going to be a shark in a lake and it's going to eat me. So,
Hey, both are, they can swim in fresh waters.
they're adapting. Evolution is real.
Always been.
What are you drinking there, Mr. Peeples?
That is coffee, my normal daily espresso.
Is it Starbucks?
Yes, it is.
The double shot.
I need to get a sponsorship here. I want to get a beer sponsor, but I'll take Starbucks.
Yeah, I'll take Starbucks too. Yes, it is a double shot, actually.
I found this sweet coffee mug today. It says Thug Life. Pretty rad.
Nice.
So, not sure where it came from. Probably a homeless person.
I used to be a barista at a local shop here in Berea, Kentucky.
Oh, wow. Yep, I get a double shot with an extra shot. I get a venti double shot with an extra shot, so it's 6 shots. So it's basically 6 shots over ice with a Splenda, and that's my go-to.
I got you, man. So if you ever come to Berea, Kentucky, I will go make you a shot.
I'll take it.
When you have any conventions that way, he can come visit you. Lexington, is that the closest one?
Be the Lexington Con, yeah.
So I'm going back here through the chat here. I saw some stuff. Do you prefer the original version of Superman or the new darker version?
Movie-wise or book-wise?
I'm assuming he meant comic-wise. I'm really not sure. He says he prefers the original, so probably movie-wise, really. Because is there a darker Superman? I don't read Superman.
Darker Superman now. I mean, any iteration of Superman that I've read recently, I like just as well as any iteration I read when I was a kid. Movie-wise, you know, Christopher Reeve Superman is always going to be my Superman. Like, He just always will be. But I think Henry Cavill's a good Superman. I just think, I mean, this isn't going to affect my job. I think DC's missing the mark on the movies.
Sorry, it's like this isn't going to affect my job.
Well, it sucks because it's such the animated version of movies that they do are just killer. Like they got
they can't go wrong with the animated stuff.
They got
like,
it down, man. I'll watch that shit all day.
Well, see, this is the thing. When I was younger,
the new Batman Harley movie was trash.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, it's trash.
That was just all about seeing the whole scenes of Harley Quinn like making out with Nightwing or Robin.
Yeah, it's
that's what that whole movie was about. That sucked.
I didn't really care for the Batman Ninja either, but that's just, I think maybe I was not in the right frame of mind or mood for it.
I just like it for the fact of the value that it was honoring the different versions of anime art style. Story-wise, horrible. Art style, I thought it was thumbs up all the way. But story-wise, it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't see the crap. Sorry, I'm looking at something that got shifted in my file. I don't know how that happened. Oh, I know what happened. I'm stupid.
But as far as like Superman was, when I was younger, I didn't like the Boy Scout Superman. I like the newer Superman because of the fact that, like, if you're like, I think the newer Superman is a more realistic version of what would actually happen if someone from like a dying planet came to our Earth, find out they had superpowers. Like, they're not going to be Boy Scout. Like, they're going to have some doubts, and they're going to have like, I'm more powerful than you. I could bitch slap you across the room if I want to. So like, I like Superman with some attitude. Like, I don't want him to be like, oh, I'm going to do what's right every single time. Like, no.
I like the Red Sun version.
Ooh, look at you. He's a commie! Commie!
I'm just saying.
We get shut down. Thanks,
I'm just saying, I'm gonna definitely lean more towards the villains than I do heroes.
Oh no, I'm with. I just want Superman to have like actual conflict, like not just like battling somebody. Like, that's why I'm a big Darkseid fan, is because someone actually showed up that could like punch Superman and he could feel it.
But you know, Superman does have conflict though. That's his thing, is that he is all powerful. So his conflict is, how much power is too much? Like, how much of this, you know, at what point do I step in? How much of this should I do? Does that make sense? Like, people say he's Boy Scout, but there really is conflict. And I had somebody explain that. Remember when Superman like walked across the earth?
Yeah.
Remember that? Like, he quit flying for a while. And like, he did this walk across the United States or whatever it was. And people were like, we don't want to see him doing that, like fight bad guys and whatever. But that was the whole thing, is that I'm always taking care of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's time for y'all to kind of handle up on some of this stuff yourself. Let me, you know, I'm not going to fly in and save the day. You know what I mean? Like, if I come across there's a problem, okay, we'll talk about it. But he talks a girl down from a ledge. He doesn't fly up and save her. He talks her down from a ledge. You know what I mean? He helps her with their cow tree. Like, it's that kind of stuff that, I mean, there is conflict with Superman. He's not necessarily, but that's what he is. I mean, he is. I mean, that's why you have Batman. You have Batman for a reason, and you have Superman for a reason. You can't have both to be the same. Does that make sense?
No, I got you. I would be more like, if I were Superman, I would be like, solve your own problems, man. I'm here when the real shit needs attended to.
He's like, I'm drinking beer.
Call me when North Korea launches.
Yeah, holler at me then. In the meantime, I'm going to play some games.
And get shit.
That's right.
Drunk Superman would probably be pretty bad.
We had Drunk Superman. There was a movie with drunk Superman. Remember?
Which one was that?
Superman
Number 3.
3.
Yeah,
I think it was 3.
I think so.
It was 3.
Yeah, he gave up his powers, and then like he went to that diner and got.
Maybe in Smallville. Maybe he got shit-faced in Smallville. That was your dramatic Superman right there.
Yep, exactly.
I love that show. I'm not even gonna lie. The first several seasons, I think there ended up being 10. I've never finished it, but.
And what about the girl Chloe, man? That
Oh my gosh, I totally would have been a victim of her game.
Trip.
It's just a weird world, right? Just a weird freaking world, man.
Yo, I was on Smallville. Now I'm in a sex trafficking ring. Like, that's nuts.
How did that?
Like, how do you do that? Like,
That's the kind of questions I want to know. Is like, so what transpired in your life that you went from here to here?
What was so bad that you decided this is a better move?
I in my years, I used to be a huge sports guy, like, conventions, baseball cards, all that stuff. And I got to know some people in that vein. And one of them was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs that I kind of grew up with. And you guys probably don't remember him, but his name was Bam Morris. He was he's like a 3rd-round pick out of Texas Tech, all this stuff. And I grew up with him anyways. And dude goes and, gets drafted by the Steelers in the 3rd round. He's got a career. And now he's in prison for selling drugs. It's like, what happened in your career? Like, you're making $1 million+ a year as a running back, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and load up this trunk with some cocaine and see what I can do with it. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. But everybody's. I mean, who knows? You can't. I try not to judge people any. Like, I used to be a real judgmental kind of person, I think, and I really try not to do that. Like, people's lives go south, right? Like, maybe that was like his last resort. I don't know what else to do. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't judge people either. I'm just curious.
Just likes to sell drugs, like,
It's quick cash, I suppose, and maybe that's what he needed. But it's just, I'm always curious though, like what. And me, I mean, I guess in the NFL, you probably have all kinds of opportunities for that kind of stuff. It's not like I can go outside right now and be like, "Hey guys, I'm looking to start selling some cocaine. Who's up?"
Yeah.
This ain't gonna happen. I mean, maybe my neighbor will be like, "Oh, actually, I'm already doing it." But it's just interesting, like you said, how things happen in people's lives, or what takes you from point A. Like, we're having this conversation today, and 5 years down the road, you're on here and you're like a crime lord. Be like, hey, what happened in those 5 years, buddy?
I'm like Scarface.
Yep.
There's just a big pile of powder on my desk right here.
The world is yours. The world is yours.
Oh gosh.
Great Legend would like us to know that it's Christopher Reeve, no S, and apparently that falls under the Mandela effect. Those things that when we recall memory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's right. It is Christopher Reeve, not Christopher Reeves. But for some reason, this whole time we always say Christopher Reeves and not Christopher.
Nope. Christopher Reeve, R-E-V-E.
Yep.
Weird. Whatever. I can't get over the interview with a vampire thing, but that's doesn't make sense.
Do what?
Like, I read the books and I've seen the interviews, and it's Interview with a Vampire. That was the movie.
Right.
But now it all says it's Interview with the Vampire. There's no A. You can't find anything that has the A in it. It's all the. And I know that's not right. I've seen interviews with Anne Rice where it's not right.
It's on Netflix right now. Hold on.
I was going to say, I just watched it on Netflix.
What's it going to say? Interview with the Vampire.
I'm going to look right now because I was just looking at it on Netflix earlier. Hold on. I'll pull it up. I'll tell you. You're right. It says The Vampire.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
My brain hurts.
You're gonna go crazy. It makes me absolutely crazy because you can't find anything. I have DVDs, and it says and I know it was It was interview with a vampire.
I'm just gonna blame it on us being lazy as fuck. We don't want to say the. We're just gonna say
I don't think so, because I watched an interview with Anne Rice, man. And she said,
not the vampire, a vampire.
if she doesn't know her book, shame on her. Oh Lord. Any other questions in the chat? What do we got going on?
I do know I have to stop and say, welcome to the chat, Bad Adventure. Thank you very much.
Always giving a dude a standing ovation.
He gets the standing O.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So what else we got for you? What do you have anything you want to give away today, Pope?
I sure do. I have some stuff to give away.
Besides your good looks.
Besides my good looks, yes, you're right. Besides my charm and non-intellect. How do I want to give these away? I don't know, but I have a T-Titan Special #1.
Anyone see that? Let me highlight you, Pope. There you go.
Yeah, press the button, as the legend would say.
It was that one guy that was moderating my show. Push the button.
Failed it all. One ring to rule us all. Then I have the Jim Lee Batman.
Is that number 50?
Yep. Close your eyes, JP, because it's Catwoman #1, Art Germ.
Whatever.
Whatever. Your wife would punch you through the wall.
You do covers, Brent?
Huh? Sorry.
You're fine.
I was texting for work stuff. What's up?
You're fine. Are you just interiors right now? Do you do covers as well?
I've done covers for other companies, not for DC.
Do you have a preference? Like, would you like to do covers?
I prefer interiors. I prefer telling a story. A lot of people tell me I'm stupid for that. But I like telling a story. Sometimes with a cover, I did a lot of covers for Valiant for 2 years, and it was really fun and really good work. But I miss telling a story. So interiors are where I'm at.
Well, it makes sense. I was just curious. I know, a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people right now just cover artists or like store exclusive deals and things of that nature. So it's always interesting to see, what someone's passion is. Do those cover artists wish they were interior artists, or do they just like cashing those checks for covers?
I mean, covers pay better money typically than your page rate, and they sell for higher, and they're faster to do. I mean, you can do a cover in less time than you can do a full book.
Sure.
So if you can book a whole bunch of covers, in a month, then you could potentially make more money. I don't know. I just like telling a story. I mean, I know it's a lot of work and it's a grind, and but telling those stories and those pages, it's just kind of it's my love. That's why I want to get into comics.
So I'm assuming that with DC that I've saw some videos with like Ethan Van Sciver and stuff, and he gets to keep his pages and then he kind of sells them on eBay or whatever.
Yes.
So do you do something similar, or where could someone go to get your?
Usually just contact me direct. I have an art dealer that I use. Okay. I haven't sent him anything recently, like in the past couple months or so, but I always have originals for sale at conventions. Or if you pick up a book that I do and you like a page, you can always contact me direct.
Okay.
Via Twitter or Facebook or email or whatever it is. Instagram. Yeah. And then we can, and just say, hey, do you have this page available? If I don't have it, my inker has it because we split pages. Okay. So, but that's something they fought for a long time over, were rights for the artists to get their original work back. So we always keep our originals now.
It's a good thing in my opinion. I mean, it gives you a little bit of kickback for, I think it's the right thing to do as far as, what companies decide to do. But I'm gonna let Pope do his giveaway quick. If you have something you need to do on your phone or whatever, that's fine. We're gonna do this, and then
Because I'll need to cut out pretty quick because I need to start working on the book. And
we'll start wrapping up here by about 7 minutes, and we'll be out of here.
Cool deal.
So I got that Teen Titans Special #1. I got that Catwoman Art Journal #1. I have the Batman 50, the Jim Lee cover. And then I have the first appearance of Kate Kane as Batwoman, which apparently is going crazy right now. So how are we going to get this away? How are we going to do it? What should we do?
I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of that number game.
We'll do the number game again.
What's that?
Give me it. Don't go crazy yet.
No.
Don't.
So right down. There's 17. So there's 16 viewers in the chat.
Okay, 16.
Yeah.
Okay, I've written a number. Go.
So you guys pick a number between 1 and 16. The first one to get it right.
Yep, we'll get it.
We'll get the prize pack from the Grimester, the Bishop of Back Issues.
Oh, damn! That was fast. That was probably the quickest I've ever seen the number game go, guys.
Who was it?
It's Gene Paul.
Gene Paul, number 15. Congratulations. There you go.
Let me get the close-up. 15. So congrats.
Awesome deal. So we'll go ahead and kind of get to a wrapping up here point. If you guys have any final questions, now's your time to ask. Otherwise, I'm going to just say, appreciate your time with us today. I know you have a busy schedule. I will put your contact information in the description, so if they want to hit you up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, because if you have do you sell prints or anything online?
Prints usually not. Usually I sell prints at shows.
Okay.
But on my Instagram there are a couple. I'm starting to do fine art G clay prints, which are like actual fine art prints.
Okay.
And they're all limited and number and signed and numbered and all that kind of stuff. So I will sell those online. And you can pick them up at a show or, have me ship them. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just put your information there so they can hit you up if commissions and things of that nature. Follow him on Instagram. I know for sure you post stuff on there when your commissions open up.
Yep. I try to post as much art on there as I can. It's either that or some kind of gym something.
So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. I know it's kind of a random afternoon thing, but with my new overnight job, this is kind of what life is like for the next who knows when. But anyways, hope you have anything you want to say.
I was to say thank you, Brent, for joining our show. It's been an awesome pleasure, man. Cheers. Thank you for the community for just supporting us and being a part of the comic book world. I love you guys. You're awesome.
All right. With that being said, everyone have a great, safe day and take care. We'll talk to you guys next Thursday. Bye.